How cool is it every Friday when we come to work, we know we're going to talk with greatness. We're going to talk with a Pro Football Hall of Famer as part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame residency program. And this is week number 6 for us, so 6 for 6. And the big man is in the building from New Orleans. How about that?
Look how small I look next to a Hall of Famer when he's an offensive lineman.
Yeah, having a great time. Yeah, I got here on time as well.
Willie
Hayden
Rofe
said I had to be here
building.
about 4 o'clock, so I had to be here.
Willie Rofe is our guest, Hall of Famer class of 2012. And Willie, what makes a Hall of Famer? Because we see different players at different positions coming from different programs, big, small, had great college careers, had okay college careers, but once they got to the NFL, they became a Hall of Famer. What makes a Hall of Famer?
A lot of work, a lot of favor to be able to stay healthy and play at that level for that long. And, we just have a drive and whatever you do, you have to have that type of drive and determination to be that good at your job, at your field. So for me personally, it was the competitive nature that I had from being able to play sports at such a young age. And then with the role models of my parents, just their drive in their field. My dad was a dentist, my mom was an attorney, pushing that narrative of education where I kind of applied that to the football aspect once I became a real good player. And then just being able to go after the knee injury and finish off my career in Kansas City was great. But it's just, you just hear all of us have individual stories, but it's the same principle as we pushed hard. We just wouldn't stop, and we just wanted to be excellent at that field. And when you get to be at the top of the sport, the best of the best, when you're playing, you want to stay there for as long as you can. And then when you can't do it anymore, you can't do it anymore. But when you get to have that reputation as being one of the badasses in your sport, it's a great feeling too to walk in the room and I'm in the Pro Bowl. I can walk in the room and I can be in there and I can walk in and say, I'm the best out of a lot of you at that time period.
Which is amazing.
We're the Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers number 1.
That's the guy with the good voice, not us.
That's how you bring in a special guest, right?
How sweet is that?
You hear the NFL films and then the Houston Oilers.
I love that.
Look out, Pittsburgh. Here I come.
Hey, did you steal that song from Miami or did they steal it from you?
There we go. It's Cleveland. That's a Cleveland fan.
Right.
That's a Cleveland fan that asked that question. Everything starts in Texas, then we give it to everybody else. So nothing started in Miami but sunshine.
We like talking about jewelry. You have a favorite out of those 4 Super Bowl rings?
First one.
The first one is the one?
Very sentimental. The Steelers hadn't won a championship in 40 years. So I always remember the first one.
It was so amazing because we were looking over the history and the records. And the Steelers, especially when you guys ushered in an era, they left all the losing behind. And they've been winning pretty much ever since. When you go back and visit the teams of this era, they look at you guys, they got to be looking at like the superstars of the day. You guys started the entire franchise, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Don't be modest. It's true. When it's a fact, it's true, right?
It is true. And but when we go back, we always come together and do different things out in the community. Likewise, like I'm doing here this week. We just fall right back in place, man. Like we never been separated from each other.
Who was better, the defense or the offense in those great Steeler teams?
Wait, come on now.
Come on now.
Here we go, Steelers. Here
Was
we go.
it the offense? The defense was better?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
We're going to have Lynn Swann in here in 2 weeks, and you know I'm going to ask him that question.
Yeah, well, he's a little biased on the offensive side.
The greatest defense was your own. So I asked Donnie Shell, what was better, the Steeler offenses with you guys or their defenses with him? And he said...
The Steeler defenses.
Of course he said the Steeler defense. Of course he said the defense. Donnie's not going to say the offense because he didn't play on the offense. But, when you run against your own defense every day at practice, right, they know your plays as well as you do. And so they cheat.
Oh, he's a
Cheat
cheater
code.
now.
Yeah.
We get him on the phone. Where's this Donnie Shell?
Call him up on the phone. So they know the plays we're going to run, and they cheat. They kind of cheat to where the ball's going to go. I remember Donnie hit John Stallworth in practice. And Donnie, John came across the middle, and Donnie lit him up like it was a Super Bowl game. And John's on the ground looking up. And John tells the story. He said, he felt something strange, and something on his face. And he took his two hands and two fingers, and he put it under his nose, and he rubbed the upper lip, and he looked at his two hands and realized that cold, wet thing he felt was snot. That Donnie had knocked the snot out of John
In
at practice.
But back then, nobody caught the ball ran the way you did. You inflicted punishment on people who tried to tackle you. It wasn't like that for tight ends back then. I made mention earlier, I think Ditka's the first tight end inducted into the Hall of Fame. Everybody wants to say John Mackey's the best, but for my money, it's you and Ozzie. Am I right?
I
mean, the way you played the game.
The way you played the game, I ran straight ahead because I didn't have the ability to make moves. I wasn't going to.
But you ran over people.
I was going to plant and cut to the left and come back to the right,
Okay.
in a quick move. That wasn't me. Mine was to catch the ball, roll a field, take advantage of your momentum that you have, and try to run through a tackle or, break a tackle or run over someone. But that's why my shoulders hurt these days as I've gotten older. But I didn't have that ability to make that quick pivot and to move the other direction. Some guys today do have that ability. What made John Mackey so good? John Mackey was a running back in college. With great hands. They put him at tight end. He brought that running back ability to the tight end position.
Is there a tight end in today's game, or is it just we have athletes everywhere?
There's 10 or 12 of them. Pick one.
Really?
They're all that good. And some days they have great games, and some days the defense, takes it away from them, like they're doing to Kelsey right now in Kansas City. But Kittle's had a great game the other night.
Unreal. And he was banged up.
And he was exactly. This is not a comment against him. The rules are a little bit different now than they were then. But his ability to do the things he does, and once he catches the ball, he pivots. He gets upfield. He gets his shoulders upfield, gets his hips upfield. He doesn't take that long loop, which is kind of like a running back ability.
You got to play in the backfield, and I watched this on the Football Life, that you got to play in the backfield with your brother.
Correct.
But you also broke Gale Sayers' records.
Yeah, well.
I mean, when you go into a school and you break... First of all, did you know what you were doing when you were doing that?
Listen, let's set the record straight right from the get. We're talking about Gale Sayers.
Right.
Now, I did become John Riggins, but Gale Sayers. So, you got to remember that I'm sure you guys are the same. You're growing up, you got your sports heroes, right, and who they are. Well, there's no way in your own mind you ever think that you could ever surpass something your sports heroes did. So to this day, he'll always be Gale Sayers, and, I'll be, whatever I am. But I could never look at myself and say, oh, I broke Gale Sayers' record, and kind of think that I could take it serious because, like I say, he was Gale Sayers.
And so my connection with wrestling, me and his coach, Foch Fazio, we used to go to wrestling matches. And how I figured out we were going to the wrestling matches was in practice where Foch would be hollering my name. John Randall, I need to talk to you because I don't think you know what you're doing out here on this football field. I come up to him, Foch, what did I do? Nothing. Are we going to the wrestling match? If you want to go, Foch, let's go. So we go to this one match. We're down there. We got the mayor of Minneapolis, and next thing you know, we're in the back talking with Ric Flair.
Come on!
And he's like, you guys gonna go in the ring with me?" And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. "Yeah, we gotta go in there." So it's me, Kirby Puckett, the mayor. We got Ric Flair behind us, and we are doing our thing. And I'm like, I got to get this serious face on. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm here with Ric Flair. And he's, let's go. Yeah, good nature. Ooh. And
But I go, I'm going to Miami. So I go home. I go, Dad, I'm going to Miami. He says, what do you mean you're going to Miami? He says, let me see that. I said, that's a letter of intent. That means I can got a scholarship. He rips it up. He goes, "This is god dang far. What are you, out of your mind?" He said, "You go close to home here so we can watch it. I'm the only one to ever go to college. So now I'm going to Michigan.
Right.
No question." So I tell my dad, "Dad, it comes down to the final day. Dad," he goes, "Where are you going? All these people, where are you going to go?" I go, "I want to go to Michigan, Dad." He goes, "Michigan? I can't pronounce that guy's name. How do you say it?" For real. Schembecker. He goes, "What is Schembecker?" I go, "Come on, Dad. You can pronounce it. What's the matter? Delamalier, you can't pronounce it." He goes, "No, I don't like it. I can't pronounce it." Then he goes, "Where else do you want to go?" I go, "I know I'm good because I'm Catholic. This is it. 10 kids.
Yeah.
I wear St. Sebastian medal since 5th grade." So I go, I'm going to Notre Dame. My dad, I can't swear on this thing. Or
We'll get fined by the FCC.
We're not internet.
Okay, you're not internet.
Yeah.
Well, my dad, what the are you talking about? He said, "That guy's a Protestant." I said, "Who?" He said, "Precision, a Protestant coaching at Notre Dame. No way. You go to Michigan State because Duffy's Catholic." I go, "God, you're right." Well, what was I thinking? I can't. So that's how I went to Michigan
Wow.
State. I didn't even want to go there.
Oh, my
But he was
God.
Catholic.
This is what he was
honest
all
to God-
excited about.
You got to tell us about. I mean, Andre the Giant, is it the biggest guy you've ever seen in your life?
He's amazing, and his hand, like my hands aren't small. His hand like came all the way out here. It was like shaking hands with a catcher's mitt, you know? And it had the weirdest feeling, like you wanted to jerk your hand back, like he was gonna it was like gonna disappear. So, but the nicest guy, honestly the nicest guy. I had a blast doing that. I met so many cool guys. The wrestlers were great. And so I got a funny story about that. You'll like that. So Vince McMahon called me and said that he wanted me to do this. And so they offered me an amount of money. And, so Matt Suey, who the guy that inducted me in the Hall of Fame, was my roommate and, kind of a mentor. And I always bounced things off of him and, business deals and everything. And so I told Matt, he goes, you don't want to do that. He goes, it's kind of, you don't want to sully your reputation. Okay. You don't want to be involved in that. And I go, okay. So then, and he came back with another offer. And then I told Matt, and I showed it to him. And Matt goes, well, it's a little, he goes, but you still don't want to do that. And then came back with a third offer. Matt goes, well, now that's an entirely different story. We're going to go do this. And I did it. Yeah. So, and it was, I loved it. I don't regret it. I got to meet all those guys. I mean, hanging out with guys like Hillbilly Jim and King Tonga and there was another Iron Sheik.
Yes.
And, it was just an experience you'll never forget.
When I got there, I had a strong arm where I could throw the ball a long ways. I still have 2 plaques from when I played for the Packers. I won the long throw contest.
Really?
I wish I had brought him here. I won it back-to-back years.
In the air?
Yes. Now, we had a running start, like you're throwing a javelin and all that. But what do you mean in the air? No, on the ground. It hit, and it rolled.
Well, it feels like a drive.
This is not a putt. This is not a punt where it just takes in the air.
And you're from Erie, we're from Canton, Ohio. And we see this guy on Sundays, and you got the tape from your elbow to your wrist, just like Ken Stabler said. Yeah. But you had this stuff. I mean, you had it caked, and I'm sure everybody's asked you this question. My mom wanted to kill you because we got a hold of some Stickum, and we thought we were going to be the next Fred Biletnikoff. We ruined more pairs of socks, T-shirts, probably underwear, because it ruined everything in the laundry. What was it? Who came up with it?
The people in San Diego with the San Diego Chargers. That's how we ran into it.
Come on.
Seriously. A guy named Speedy Duncan, who was a defensive back for the Chargers, was a returner, punt returner, and a defensive back. Our Dick Romansky, who was our equipment guy who just got into the Hall of Fame,
yes.
Yeah, saw Speedy Duncan with the stuff on. So he went to the equipment manager, who they were both good friends, and asked him what the hell it was. He said, we got this Stickum. And he showed him a jar of it, and that's how we started getting
it. It was glue.
It was like you put on a candy apple.
You grew up in Kentucky. You go to Kentucky. When did football become a part of Dermontti Dawson's life?
My junior year, well, I went out my 9th grade year. That was in middle school. And so I didn't really like the hot practices. And so I didn't go to many practices. So I really didn't play hardly.
Mm-hmm.
So in high school, I was running track and wrestling. And so I wanted to concentrate on track and field because I was pretty good in track and field. So my high school coach, who had just been hired the year before, my sophomore year, Steve Parker, who was my presenter at the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Yeah. I was coming out of algebra class in the hallway, and as soon as I got out the door and made a left, going to my next class, he stops me and puts his hands around my shoulders. He says, "Son, where have you been all my life?" Because I've been about the same height since high school, but I was like my junior year I was like 225 pounds, and then I got up to 250 my senior year.
All right, I'll snap it to you. You get over there and catch it. All right, here we go. JT making a dream come true.
Last play to the corner, right?
Right.
Going to catch a pass from a Hall of Fame quarterback, number 14, Dan Fouts. Shotgun snap, is that good with you, Jeff?
Close to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would prefer a shotgun snap. All right, let's see if I can do it.
For the shotgun.
Hi.
There's another center guy.
Hello.
Here we go.
Hi.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm the night open. Look at that. There it is. That ball's got too much air.
Joe, he got upset, you know. He got really upset. I said, "Don't get upset."
Can you tell about Joe Namath?
That's his favorite player right there.
Joe? Yep. Well, he's my favorite guy, too, man.
You took down Joe Namath. You took down my Vikings.
Oh, well, you know.
Took down my Buckeyes.
Oh, you know. Oh,
Thanks, Mr. Bobby Bell.
Oh, anytime, you know. I don't pick them, you know.
Just play who's across from you.
Whoever's across in front of me, you know.
Oh.
Hey, you know, like I said to you before, you know, if I walk off the field and you say, that Bobby Bell was tough. You know how they used to, pick the all-star guys, you know, and you ask your teammate, who's the toughest guy that you play against, you know.
Yeah.
And the other teams go, well, the guy said, if you don't say, well, Bobby Bell's in front of me, he gave me a rough time. You know, I didn't do my job. If I tag you a couple times, get his attention, smack him upside the head a couple of times. The guy's got his attention.
Right.
But that's how I played the game, because I didn't do my job right.
We had John Randall in here a couple of weeks ago, and he's a trip.
Yes, he is.
Were you like that on the field verbally?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Could you have if you wanted to? Did you like wrestling?
No. That was not my personality.
Okay.
What happened was when I'm at the 49ers, you don't see people getting emotional. Wasting energy. It's a waste of energy.
Ronnie Lott was just in your face, right?
Right. Ronnie just come up and slap you upside the head. That's why I got a pinched nerve in my neck, and I had to wear a neck robe. Hey man,
Are you serious?
Yeah, I made a big play, man, and I'm walking back on, and he comes from 30 yards down the field and slapped me, dog. Hey, I thought my mama slapped me, dog. Hey, bro, I was looking to see if that was Virginia Hater the way he hit me, dog. I'm going like, wow.